So, Mike, Tom Brady talking about what everybody is asking. What's going to happen with your career? Are you going to return to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for your third season with Tampa? And the fact that we're even having this conversation just takes me back to what I said there. Right? Which number 12 knows what he's doing next? I think Tom Brady knows. I know what he's saying. Hey, tomorrow's not promised. The season just ended. We're going to take our time and all this. This is different. I haven't heard him say it like this at the end of the year. And I'm gonna explain it this way. I've heard Tom Brady talk about his family, how his wife is his number one supporter. I've heard him talk about how life is precious and you just don't know and you can't overreact. I've heard all that. But generally what he says is some version of, why would I stop playing football now? So he told Peter King 8 years ago now, I've got the answers to the test. Why would I stop now?
Yeah.
In 2013, roundabout, or 13 or 14, he said, why does everybody want me to retire? When I suck, I'll retire. I'm a football player. This is what I love to do. I love being in that locker room. I love competing. He usually says all of those things. I want to play till 45. And then when I get to 45, we'll see if I'll keep going. But now he's not. And it's not because the season just ended. I think this is the moment. I don't know what he's going to do. I'm not telling you like, hey, I got the inside story. But I know from watching and interviewing and listening to Tom Brady all these years, this, I think, is the most seriously he's considered retiring. I don't think he's ever been this far along.
I don't think that's a stretch I don't think that's a stretch, and take this the right way. I don't think that's that bold of a statement. And the only reason I say that is,
and I'm not trying to be bold. I'm just trying to tell you.
No. But I'm saying it's kind of obvious. But it's kind of obvious. He's never been 44. Like it would shock me if he weren't thinking about the end.
But it's not 44. It's not the numbers because 44. I mean, 44.
No. I'm
at the beginning of this year,
he's played so long. He shouldn't. Why would he be thinking the way he thought 7 or 8 years ago or 10 years ago at this stage of his life and his family's life, or 3 years ago or a year ago?
This year, something changed with Tom Brady. See, 44. Just so we're clear on this.
I'm saying
44 was never.
That's what's changed.
Well, I don't know.
Like, Michael, you think differently
I don't know if that's it.
Than you did 3 years ago. I'm saying this was inevitable.
Unfortunately,
at some point, at some point, Tom Brady was going to think about retirement. I hear you. It sounds like he's leaning that way. So I get why you would say you think he knows. I doubt it, and the only reason I tend to doubt that he knows.
But Mike, 44 was never something. It was not. Tom Brady was not a year by year. We'll look at it at the end of the year. At the beginning of the 2021 season, it's like, what? Oh yeah, 45, 48.
So maybe he was just
changed in the last 2 or 3 weeks.
But I'm agreeing with you.
Changed.
I don't know. Okay, maybe something happened behind the scenes that we don't know. He's a very private person. As open as he's gotten since he's gotten to Tampa, he's a very private person. We're not privy to whatever conversation he's had behind closed doors with Giselle or the kids. So maybe something has changed. What I'm saying is, just like when you get older, you got to take certain vitamin supplements. You got to visit the doctor more often. You have to think about the end when you didn't think about the end and you thought you'd live forever. This is the natural progression for somebody's career, an unprecedented career. Most people don't have to wrestle with this decision after 22 years. Most people are long into retirement because either they've gotten tired of it or the game has retired them. It would shock me if he weren't wrestling with this. I think he's agonizing over it. I don't think he knows. I think it gets harder and harder for him to muster up the sacrifice that it takes to play at the level of commitment that he needs to and the level of excellence that he needs to. So he may be kind of nudging closer to retirement than he was before and therefore talking more openly about it. I don't know that he knows, because what also surprised me about Tom Brady is if at any point this year, to do what he did, with one toe or foot out the door because you're thinking about it, and not only are you thinking about it, this is the end?
Well,
that would surprise me given how laser focused he's always been on the task at hand. I think I take him at his word that right now is when he's going to assess what to do. Right now. And he's just letting us in on his process.
Hold on. Whoa. He's a multitasker.
Michael, you know what they say when you start talking, when they say they say when you're getting divorced, you take your marriage and divide it by 2. When you start talking about divorce, you've been thinking about it much longer than that. I don't believe that the Tom Brady that I think I know, emphasis on think. Emphasis on think. I think Tom Brady was focused on this season. And I don't think he knew that he was done. I don't think he knew.
Let me ask you.
He may come to this place of being done, but I don't think he knew. And I don't think he knows now. I think he's agonizing over it. And I'll just make this real quick point. One thing that I think will factor in, and I think we underrated the last couple of days, is that the Bucs probably have to do some kind of a recruiting job to make it harder for him to walk away. I think we got it backwards. Like, oh, well, he got to let them know so they can decide on Godwin and Fournette and Jensen and Gronkowski maybe, or Carlton Davis or Jordan Whitehead. You know, maybe they got to make those decisions so that Giselle don't have to watch him get hit. You were saying?
Yeah. Well, first of all, you can decide to retire and still be focused on the job. I mean, how many great athletes have gone into a season saying, this is it.
We just talked about Kobe.
And they win a championship.
The farewell tour.
And they win a championship.
Absolutely.
Or win a championship. Like John Elway.
I'm not saying it's impossible.
John Elway.
I'm not saying
Kareem.
It's impossible. I'm saying Brady. I'm strictly talking about Brady. People have had farewell tours, which he doesn't want.
Brady can do
I'm talking
too.
about how Brady approaches his job. But he hasn't approached his job that way. You tell me this. You know this much better than me. Okay.
All right.
Because the equivalent is his last year in New England. Okay? Maybe that's the evidence to your point. I'll contradict my own point. He knew it was probably the end then, but did he already know where he was going or how it was going to end? And maybe he did multitask this year. I just give him more credit than that. I think he actually focused because like he said, the team deserves my undivided attention.
Look, sure, and as a football, you know, it's okay for these people to say, these athletes, oh, they deserve my attention. Yes, your attention, but you're still a human being. You're a multidimensional human being. I'm giving you credit for that. Maybe the way you frame it and the way people receive it, it's less than. I don't believe that Tom Brady can only focus on football during the season and nothing else, such as his future and life after football. You can think about life after football and still play at an MVP level. He did it. We're going to find out he did it. Because if you're asking me today, I think he's saying goodbye.
I think he may have thought about it. Here's where I'll meet you. I think he's thought about it. I don't think he's fully evaluated it and come to a decision. That's the nuance. That's the subtle disagreement we have.
Hey, thanks for watching Brother from Another on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe before you leave, and be sure to watch us 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Peacock. Appreciate you.